Hey, Phil here, and if you didn't know, I'm launching a brand new channel, Video School Online Tech, all about photo and video gear. I'm sharing one of those videos right here on this channel about the Sony a7S II mirrorless camera. It's a great example of the type of content you'll get over there on Video School Online Tech. So if you enjoy this video, please subscribe to VSO Tech. Links will be down in the description below or up above with the YouTube card. Enjoy this video. I'm really excited about this camera. I've played around with it a little bit, but it's one of Sam's favorite cameras now too. So welcome to the review. And first,
thanks for having me.
Can you just talk about what this camera is? What does it do?
Well, so the a7S obviously was a huge sort of step into the limelight for Sony. I think they've done a great thing with their F5, the FS7, all these cameras, but really this was the first compact camera that, because of the sensitivity, blew everyone out of the water. A lot of people have said that this, the a7S II, there's some great improvements, but ultimately, it does more or less what the a7S I does, minus the fact that this has 4K and a couple of new features. But yeah, it's a great camera.
So it shoots video in 4K.
It shoots video in 4K. 60 frames per second in 1080. I believe it also does 120, but to be honest, I don't think the slow-mo's there just yet, but the 4K looks amazing, and it's also a great photo camera. I mean, it's so lightweight, it's so small, compact. Personally, I roll with this to get some extra juice out of it, but yeah, it's a solid camera.
And it shoots in S-Log, which is Sony's...
S-Log 3.
S-Log 3. Explain what S-Log is to people who might not know about it.
So S-Log is more or less getting the flattest possible picture out of the video. So it allows you to do a lot of color correction in post, but it allows you to get more of the highlights, get more of the shadows, just have as much data as possible so that in post you're able to really bring those colors out.
So it's more of a professional color grade, or something that you can grade compared to the earlier DSLRs that were super contrasty and you weren't really able to make them look natural or look good when you're editing in post.
Right. So back in the day, it was what you saw in the camera is what you got. Mm-hmm. And so Canon, with the 7Ds, 5Ds, they made a very distinct look, and it's very saturated, very contrasty, and you could somewhat change it, but it's kind of difficult. Sony's done this whole S-Log 3 thing, because through their entire lines you can shoot the same Kodak. You can shoot the same color space, and it allows you to really match all the cameras much easier. At the same time, you have to color it. Yeah. And that's one thing that I think people freak out. You're looking at this image and it's so flat, there's no color, there's no contrast, but you have to know at some point you will color it, or use a monitor where you can actually put a LUT on and see the contrast before you're shooting.
Hey, hate to interrupt this video, but I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, stop right now, click on the link below to subscribe to Video School Online Tech. Thanks, and I'll let you get on with this video. Right, and we're shooting this video right now with the Sony F5, which is a big cinema documentary style camera, and we've shot films before with both cameras, and you can actually make them look very similar because they have that S-Log 3, and it is amazing actually. The quality kind of looks the same. The F5 is a great camera, but it's a lot bigger, and you can almost get the same quality of video with this little guy. So
yeah, it's been really interesting putting both these cameras in really difficult situations and seeing how, in extreme low light, in outdoors, so the benefits of each, because there's definitely times where this is the better camera, even compared to the cinema, this massive cinema camera. But they both, you can match them together, which is the best part of it. I can do ultra low light stuff with this, and then I can go out in the field with that and have my audio and all those additional things. So.
Got it. So what other accessories do you use or recommend to have with the a7S II?
I love Sony's lenses. I think that they've made some really great lenses. I just haven't gone and bought them yet. So I have this adapter here, which is for Voigtlander lenses. I have a couple primes from them, and then I also have this Metabuns adapter, which is for Canon, the EF mount. And really, it's just I own a bunch of Canon lenses, so it's nice to have this.
And that's probably one of the fears that someone who's looking into this camera might think, oh, I've been using Canon or Nikon for my entire life. There's an adapter though, right? If you have all those lenses.
Sony's been very smart about that. There's an adapter for everything. Granted, it does add a little, it adds a little bit in front here, but it works great. I will say the Sony lenses that can actually talk with this camera, the autofocus is amazingly fast, and with the adapter, it always adds a little bit of lag. So it is nice to shoot with Sony lenses. I've done it a couple times now, and it makes a big difference for the autofocus feature. Most of the time, I'm pulling manual focus anyway, so it doesn't really matter for me. But
do you ever use autofocus in video?
I have for the Movi when we have the A7S and we have a E-mount 16-35. The autofocus is pretty incredible. You're able to do, push-ins on people, pull-outs, and it keeps your subject in focus. You can do face tracking, you can do, sort of select a point in your screen, like I'm going to frame everything on the left side, and it keeps that plane of field in focus, which is really nice.
Got it. And for those of you that don't know, the Movi is a big Steadicam system that we're going to be reviewing here on Video School Online Tech in another video sometime, so you can check that out on the channel. So there's a lot of great things about this camera, it sounds like. Are there any cons that you want to bring up?
There are. Through the years, I've really stepped away from shooting like this. I've gotten really tired of the DSLR style of shooting. I think it's not as stable. You get sort of this shake to it, and you, by all means, you can make it look great. Don't get me wrong. And if you use a monopod, a tripod, it's fantastic. But sometimes when I'm running and gunning, something like the FS7 or even that 5, where you have a shoulder pad, you have more of this rig, it's beneficial. And granted, you can build this out with a big crazy rig, but so the point of it's to be small and discreet. The vertical grip makes a huge difference for me. It does make it larger, but at least at this point, I have a full hand grip here. It adds a little bit of weight to it, and with my lens, I can keep it a little steadier.
Yeah, because if you put on a huge lens right here, the lens is going to be way bigger compared to the camera.
Most of your weight is in the front at that point.
Yeah.
And you just have to know how to shoot that style, I guess. Another thing is that, unlike the F5 or the FS7, granted, those are cinema cameras, so that's the biggest difference. With the DSLR, you need some sort of ND filter. You need something, because with S-Log3, your base ISO is 1600. So no matter what it's a very sensitive camera, and so if you're outside in the light, you need some sort of ND filter, something to reduce that light, which isn't awful. These are small things. Ultimately, what this camera can capture, the image, the quality, the size of it, the lightness of it, it's incredible.
For someone out there that's thinking about getting the Sony a7S II, what other cameras might they be looking at? And in the end, do you recommend getting this camera, waiting, getting another brand?
So in the current market right now, for a $3,000 camera that can do quality video and professional grade video, I believe that the a7S II is top of its class. A lot of people really love the GH4. It's a great camera. A lot of people use it on gimbals, on drones. It's compact, it's small, and it really does have a great image quality. A lot of people do still shoot on the Canons, the 5D Mark III. There's a 7D Mark II. Those are great cameras as well. But from my perspective, ultimately, the sensitivity, how this camera has been put together is amazing. A lot of people complain about the menu system. That's not a reason not to enjoy a camera. You can figure out the menu system and you can shoot great with it. But yeah, for the under $5,000 price range, I would definitely say it's one of your best options.
So it seems like an all-around amazing camera. What type of person should buy this camera? What kinds of projects do you suggest using this camera for?
I think this is a great starting point for anyone that wants to do video. It can do photography or photo. I think the a7R II or the a7 even are better photography cameras. This is really a video camera, and if you're looking to break into that world, it's perfect. It's not terribly expensive. You have a lot of options when it comes to the lenses based off of which adapter you get, or if you decide to buy Sony lenses. And as you grow as a videographer, if you become more professional, this can be an amazing B camera. There's a lot of other cameras that are just a little bit more expensive that I think have better options, but this is a great starting point. You can do amazing things with this camera.
Well, it sounds like a great camera, and I know you've liked it a lot, so I would highly recommend it too. For all of you watching this video, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below if you have any questions about the Sony a7S II, and we'll be sure to get back to you. And if you have any other gear that you would like us to review, shoot us a message or submit a comment below as well. Sam and I have a photography class if you're interested in it. It's a photography master class. If you're a beginner photographer, it's perfect for you to get into photography and start shooting and editing better photos. So there's gonna be a link below for that class. And we also have a cinematography class with my other co-reviewer for Video School Online Tech for the cinematography masterclass, and that will be for video creators if you want to shoot better video, and those links will be below in the description. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you in another gear review.